I voted for Giuliani. Now, Giuliani kind of went off the cliff, but what he did for the city was really outstanding, because when he became mayor in 92, the city was just about as bad as it is now. And he cleaned it up. He made it tourist. You know, he brought tourism back into New York, Times Square. I used to go to Times Square. Prostitutes all over the place, junkies all over the place. Cleaned it up, turned it into a tourist attraction. Now, I saw this on the news the other day.
It is true, and I was revisiting some of these stats, by which I mean I saw them on Twitter when I was looking at, like, furry porn. Like they accidentally got in the soup. But yeah, New York City was like an unbelievable crime den in the 1980s. Like, I know we know that, like, we've looked at the statistics, but the amount, the extent to which in the 80s and early 90s, it was a absolute shithole, was incredibly, like, it, hold on. NYC murder rate graph. Look at this. It's like, oh fuck, it doesn't even let you look at it. You have to download it. Here you go. Like, what the hell, man? Obviously, we don't really have, like, reliable figures from the early 1800s for comparison, but, like, what the fuck? That's the whole Western world in these few years, not just NYC. No. Crime was up in the whole Western world around this time. But this New York City got it especially bad. The Joker movie was a documentary, yeah. Was 9/11 non-homicide? Shit, you're right. Where the fuck is the 9/11 spike? Huh? I was seeing threads and threads of people posting, like, the junk piles. Oh, that photo sucks. Like, from the Lower East Side. I cannot imagine what it would take to clean up New York City when it was at the height, in the 80s, when it was at the height of, like we talk about like alienation and society failing now because there's just a few homeless people downtown, but New Yorkers were like, yeah, it's the Big Apple, greatest city in the world, when they were walking past like 18 cubic meters of garbage on every street corner. You know? Isn't that wild? Like, I genuinely feel like the difference, it all just comes down to being social. Like, you can go to towns in the Philippines where they're literally like trash rivers, and people will still look lively because they know their neighbors, you know? Nowadays, we don't have this, but we also don't know our neighbors, you know? Like, here's a bunch of kids playing on top of an abandoned car. I don't know, that's probably dangerous. You're gonna cut your leg with the glass or something. But, like, they're having fun, and isn't that what matters in the end? Well, some of us have that and don't know our neighbors. Yeah, that's true. Okay, sorry, what last nostalgia slot video. South Bronx 1980s. I can't even fathom it. Was it Reaganism? No, this kicked in before Reagan. This was like a very excuse me. Yeah. I think it was caused by a lot of very complicated shit. I think it was caused in part by the drug war. It was caused by very bad municipal policy. It was caused by poor long-term planning with regard to stuff like trash routes that made it difficult to service parts of the city. It was caused by money leaving, yeah, via white flight, so yeah, systemic racism. It was caused by the mob, because it was difficult to do work in a lot of these areas because the mob had contractual jurisdiction over areas that were this dilapidated, so if you wanted to do any actual work, it was difficult because they'd kind of like try to push you out. And yeah, the city did go bankrupt in '75, that is true. What about leaded gasoline? That probably didn't help. But there's like the contradiction, right? There's the contradiction. They're like, oh my god, a moving car. That one actually works. They're losing their minds. Yeah, like, dude, if you know a person who lives in New York City, who lived there, who's like 50 or older, they literally grew up in this. Isn't that wild? Like, I can't even imagine. I cannot imagine. In New York City, like in such a wealthy, like Wall Street is only a few miles away from this. Well, not a few, I get, but you know, it's a few, basically.
Everybody almost gone out of this.
And there's Harlem. Yeesh. Anyway, when you remember, when you think about how boomers are like really, really paranoid of crime, no matter what the evidence says the rate of crime actually is, or when you remember that, like, you know, about the crime bill, like, you know, the Black Caucus in Congress signed off on and stuff. Like, this is the environment where this rhetoric really took root. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, if I was around live streaming in the 80s or 90s, I'd be like, okay, Twitter lefties love to pretend that New York City isn't a gigantic steaming shithole, but we need to face the facts here, okay? We have a fucking problem. To be fair, I wouldn't have endorsed broken windows policing because that shit didn't work. But, like, they had a problem. Ah, man, but the cars did look better back then, huh? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Can't deny it. All of them did. Look at that. Nowadays, the fucking deep state says that we can't have cars that look good because it adds, like, +1, you know, like, quarter liter per 100 miles driven or something, which I don't buy that shit. Fucking, you make the car weigh, like, 42,000 pounds. You're gonna weigh the car down like that, you know. Yeah, they also came in colors. All right, okay. Thanks for continuing to stream when you can and covering the most important topics. I don't chat much, but I always keep the stream on the background. Ah, I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, I mean, obviously the thing that matters most to me is just that people care enough to, you know, it will never stop flattering me that people care enough about what I have to say that they listen to me, you know? I hope they do so in good spirits and with good humor, obviously. Don't take it, you know, all too seriously. We're all a bit of a goofball, but, you know, it does mean a lot to me.